Adam Friedman, Rivals.com, here with the new number one player in the 2025 class, David Sanders. We kind of thought that this was a possibility for you very early on. You've been in the top two for the Rivals 250 for the 25 class since it came out, now making the jump up to number one. David, what does it mean to you to be listed as the number one prospect in America?
It's a blessing for me, not only for me, but my family as well. It's a great opportunity to showcase your talents at the highest level possible. So it's just a great opportunity for me, an amazing pedestal and something to add to my resume. I'm happy to be the number one player in the country as well. And it's just an amazing feeling.
Yeah, well, we all know that there's only one player in the country who's ever happy with their ranking, and it's the number one guy. So now you have something else to look forward to. You've got your senior season, certainly a lot of stuff happening in your recruitment too. But I want to take a step back and really think about your development from where you've come from, really since I met you when you were in 8th grade to where you are now. The way that you've shown the development year over year. What kind of steps have you taken, do you feel like, that have really kind of put you over the top?
Definitely just my work ethic. Each and every season, just working on little things to get myself better and better. Because obviously, I'm gifted with the talent and the athletic ability to be able to dominate at the high school level. But preparing for the next level, you got to really focus on the fundamentals and the little things, because that's going to be a big thing when you get to the next level. I mean, everybody's going to be a top player getting ready for the NFL draft. 5 stars coming out of high school, so that's what you're really preparing for. Not necessarily focused on high school, but for me, just the off season has been critical, especially this year, just trying to add on a good weight for me going into college, because I'll be enrolling early for whatever school I commit to this year. So putting on good weight and just being able to be physically prepared, because I know I'll be mentally prepared, because I come from a great school, great coaching staff as well. I mean, they put us on different plans and things like that, and film study and everything. So I think the mental aspect of college is not really something I worry about, just being physically ready to be able to compete with those guys.
You mentioned film study. I know that that's something that you've put a lot of emphasis on. Who are some of the guys that you watch and kind of try to take some things from their game?
Definitely, the first person I watch is myself, just to see things I can look at. And with my dad, usually I play on Friday, we watch our game Saturday, and then I go to school on Sunday. We watch it as a team. So yeah, just picking up little things I did wrong or did right, but could have done better. But guys in the NFL like Trent Williams and Tyron Smith are two of the guys I really look up to the most. I really like Tyron Smith a lot because he reminds himself of me, because kind of we're built the same, not really big guys, but we have great fundamentals, quick feet, quick hands. So that's the guy that I really look up to.
Well, you both are towering players,
Yes.
but that lean build, that muscular lean build, I think is what you're talking about there.
Yes,
When you work with guys in the off season and kind of get ready for the season, is there anybody in particular you would kind of call a quote unquote mentor, or somebody that you would call your trainer?
Yeah, definitely. My coach, my offensive line coach, Coach Goodwin. He and my dad too. Whenever I'm not able to work with Coach Goodwin, but he coaches me at my school, and so anytime I need anything after school, I just text him like midday. It could be maybe like 2 o'clock, and he'll be there 3:30, ready to work out. So knowing that he played 13 years in the NFL, made Pro Bowls, won Super Bowls. I mean, he's just a ball of knowledge, and also a great guy to work out with. He's not really a guy that screams too much or anything. It's really just fundamental little things, little details like that. So I feel like from my freshman year to now, he's helped me a lot to just get better each and every year.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was at your first game this season at Carolina Panther Stadium, their Bank of America Stadium, and one of the guys that was on the sideline was Akeem Ekwonu, who also was at Providence Day. And I know that he mentioned working with you a little bit and seeing your development. And what kind of tips have you picked up from Akeem?
Definitely. When he was at NC State, I was able to work out with him a lot more than now that he's in the NFL. But he used to come back every summer, and that's when I was kind of just getting introduced to playing on the offensive line. So it was a little new to me. He was kind of just working with me on like foot placement, hand placement, things like that. But I'm looking forward to hopefully working with him more this summer, now that I'm more developed and kind of on a better level. But he's definitely like a phone call away, another guy that you can always reach out to, text, and he'll be ready to talk to you. So
Sounds good. Well, let's talk about the recruiting stuff. I know that you took a little bit of break, had some downtime after the season, had Thanksgiving with the family and everything, watched a lot of games. The game last time we talked, the game that you circled, the one that you said you wanted to watch and keep a close eye on, even though you couldn't get there, was the Michigan-Ohio State game. What did you pick up from watching that game on TV and then maybe even rewatching it afterwards?
Right. I mean, the atmosphere was nonetheless, obviously, you can see that from through the TV. The 110,000 fans that's in that stadium is crazy. It's a crazy atmosphere to play in. So I can only imagine being there. It was probably amazing. But definitely, I keyed in on the offensive line. Coach Moore and Coach Fry are both doing a great job recruiting me as well. But the offensive line for Michigan was very dominant. They didn't really let JJ get touched too much during that game. So that stood out to me a lot. And they were able to forcefully run the ball pretty much all game with no problem. So that's really stuck out to me a lot. But Coach Fry, Ohio State, they did an amazing job as well. They just broke down in a couple areas at the end of the game, but it happens because it's football. But I was impressed with both teams.
Yeah. Well, another school that we know that is high up on your list, even though you don't have a leader yet, is Georgia and Alabama, the two teams that played in the SEC championship game. What did you see when you watched that game? From your couch, I guess.
Right, that was an amazing game. I mean, that could have honestly been a national championship level game between both of those teams. But Alabama's offensive line was dominant as usual, and Georgia's offensive line did an amazing job as well. I think it was just going to be the battle. Whoever got the ball last was going to win that game. But it was great to see both teams compete, and nobody really gave up to the end. So, I mean, it was a great game as well.
Yeah, well, we can't talk college football right now without mentioning Florida State. They got left out, unfortunately, of the college football playoff, and we know the Seminoles are a team that you're pretty high on as well. When you look at the Seminoles and just everything they've got going on there, and kind of the way they've kind of circled the wagons, I guess, after the season here, what kind of impression do you get from that program at this point?
Definitely. I mean, Florida State is one of those schools that are just very genuine. I mean, the whole coaching staff, everybody around campus is very genuine, and the relationship they build with you is really different from a lot of other schools in the country. So the way they recruit guys, including myself, is really unique, and that's something I really like about Florida State. Their team, I feel bad for them that they didn't make the top four. They went undefeated, won the ACC championship, so that's very unfortunate for them. But I know, knowing Coach Norvell, his speech after that couldn't have been anything less than something I've already heard. So I know he really got his guys motivated to go be able to showcase what they could have done in the top four when they play against Georgia. So that'll be a big game to watch as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, who would have been your top four? What were your top four teams? Do you think
My top four teams,
yeah.
I think I wanted, since Georgia lost, it was going to be Michigan, Washington, kind of the same. I would have kept Georgia in just because I thought they were a top four team. But yeah, Washington was undefeated as well, so you can't really keep them out.
Right. Okay, so it would have been Michigan, Washington, Georgia, Alabama.
No, it would have been Michigan, Texas, Georgia, Alabama if it was up to me.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. Okay, cool. I mean, Florida State being left out. I mean, the word is that some kids are maybe taking it a little like the ACC may not be able to get a conference champion even when Florida State, in the future, because Florida State was left out. Does that kind of resonate with you at all, or no?
A little bit. I've heard that as well. I mean, for me, obviously you want to be able to compete for a national championship, but you also want to go to a program that's able to develop you and get to the next level. But honestly, you were able to definitely say that the SEC has a bigger advantage over ACC schools, even though they went undefeated, even though they won the ACC championship. So honestly, that's very unfortunate for them, but I don't think it really plays a big role for me, because when I get there, or if I don't go there, I mean, it could be different or it could be the same. But I think for me, it's just the development you can get at any school for me.
Yeah, well, look, when you get to college, it ought to be the 12-team playoff. So
exactly. So yeah, they'll be in it for sure then.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. Let's talk about visits and future plans here. Do you have anything coming up here in the next few months? Any visits or schools that you really want to get to?
Definitely Clemson is a school I want to get to, just because they have a new offensive line coach, Coach Matt Luke. He's reached out to me multiple times, just getting to know me and things like that. But I definitely want to get back up there to meet him in person and start building that relationship with him, because obviously I had a good relationship with Coach Austin, but now he's gone. So getting back up to Clemson and meeting him, he seems like a great guy just from over the phone. So I just can't wait to get up there. Probably going to head back to Georgia, Alabama, and those schools. Because a lot of them are inviting me to it's called like the Elite Retreat somewhere in like January, February for like their junior days and things like that. So nothing's set in stone yet, but definitely we're thinking about those different visits coming up.
Yeah. How much do you know about Coach Luke at Clemson, and what his kind of track record was before he kind of took a break there?
when he got hired, I didn't know anything, but me and my family and I did a little bit of research and was able to just, see where he came from, different schools he coached at. He has an amazing resume, and I just look forward to meeting him for myself.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, great. Well, David Sanders Jr., #1 player in the entire country, #1 in Rivals 250. Thank you so much for your time. We really
Thank you.
appreciate that. Looking forward to seeing you out on the recruiting trail.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.